Don't tell me what to do.
I didn't see. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Welcome back to the life of Vespasian, Siege of Jerusalem. This is Vespasian episode 14, Ray.
Yes, 14. That's very important. Remember that. Cam, I have a question for you. So you said they've broken through the third wall. They have a small sliver in the second wall.
No, this. Oh yes, yep.
Second wall, outer wall. Then the middle wall. There's a small opening. And because Titus is young, and because he wants to wrap this up, and he wants to probably get the fuck out of there.
He likes it tight.
He likes it tight. I don't blame him. I'm going to leave everything for you to. But my question to you is, based on your Wing Chun classes, and I think it's Wing Chun, and that you play chess. This is a moment where the Jews are able to use Titus's eagerness, his aggressiveness against him. And I was just wondering if you could expand on maybe the philosophy based on chess and learning self-defense. While sometimes attack is not always the best, or certainly not a headlong attack when you don't know the situation. I was just wondering if you wanted to address it, because he's going to make a mistake because he's so eager.
Well, there are different kinds of chess players. There are aggressive chess players, your Garry Kasparov. There are defensive chess players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, who did Kasparov play in the 80s? Kasparov versus, wasn't Kramnik. Can't remember who he played now. Jeez, got a mental blank.
It'll come back.
You have, like Wing Chun, we basically get taught to use our opponent's force against them. You don't fight force with force. You use their force against them.
Mm-hmm.
You disperse their energy. In the case of Titus, though, as we've talked about over the years with sieges, we've done a lot of sieges. Sieges are exhausting.
Yes.
You got to feed the troops. The troops get bored. The troops get restless. The troops just want to get the booty, do a bit of raping, do a bit of killing.
Right.
And
good stuff.
Move on to the next target or go home.
The highlights of Siege. Yeah. And it's hot. Yeah. It's hot. Let's be honest. And there's no trees for shade. Fuck the trees. Go ahead.
They've cut all the trees down. Yeah,
exactly.
It's hot. So I understand that he wants to get it over and done with. A bit like your wife in the lovemaking department. She's like, let's just, get it over and done with.
She's never said that to the other guy.
To Angelo? Yeah, D'Angelo? No,
yeah,
but
never. Yeah. Something slow down.
No.
Anyway, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. I only put a third of it in this time. It's too big.
You're killing me.
So Titus rushes in with 1,000 legionaries through this small crack in the wall, orders his men to take prisoners who surrender and not burn buildings. So he's trying to show the Jews that he's forceful, but he's also not bloodthirsty. If you surrender, you won't get slaughtered. We'll just take you prisoner. We're not going to burn the place down if you surrender like a good barbarian should in front of the Romans.
Exactly, like a conquered people.
We can do this the hard way or the easy way is what he's saying to them.
Exactly.
But
inside
the second wall, it's a city, right? There are narrow streets, lots of buildings.
Yes.
In fact, it's so narrow and so congested, and probably deliberately, the Jews have built barricades, they've moved furniture and crates and everything you can out into the streets to make it as congested and as difficult as possible for the Romans to operate the way Romans like to operate, which is with a big army. Like they like to have their infantry and the cavalry on the sides, and they like, to have formations.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to fuck with that as much as possible.
Right.
And it's so congested that Josephus says only 2 men could fight side by side. Suddenly, Jews burst in from everywhere, surround the Romans, and Titus is in a tight-ass situation once again.
And
he's gotten himself into more tight-ass situations
than
a contortionist at a yoga convention.
Right. And not exactly, not the good kind. So his men can't deploy. The Jews are heavily armed. They're the ones who know the city streets really well. Suddenly, Titus's 1,000 men, which sounds like a lot, but not compared to all the Jews in Jerusalem, his men are getting wounded.
1,000,000 Jews.
Yeah. Absolutely. And even if you're just a
Yeah.
woman, you could throw a rock. No offense. I'm a feminist. But the point is, Titus's eagerness to go in before, like you said, the hole was made bigger. Always go with the bigger hole. I can't stress that enough. The point is, his men are being wounded. They can't deploy. The other 998 are trapped somewhere behind him. This is not working out. It's time to get the fuck out. Having said that, Titus is not panicking yet, and he's going to show a moment of bravery, but it is time to leave the way they came.
So they have to fight their way back out. Archers are mounted on the walls above the alleys. They're firing down. They've got Titus and Sabinus as the rear guard, and the legionaries escape. Titus manages to get out of it unscathed.
Yes.
But, this is not his finest hour.
Right.
Let's go. Let's go back. Whoops. No, that was the wrong idea. What was I thinking?
Yeah. Now, Josephus does say that Titus and Sabinus, it sounds like Cagney and Lacey, Starsky and Hutch, that they formed the rear guard themselves. And if you know anything about a fighting retreat, that's obviously the most dangerous part, because you're the one who's got to back up while protecting your front. It's a very tricky thing. You normally lose people. If this is true, again, this is Titus maybe trying to prove his bona fides, if you will. So they had to fight their way out and then tend to their wound. And he goes, you know what? Maybe that wasn't the best move I could have made.
Particularly after, as we saw in the last episode, he's chastising Longinus, the spear guy, for taking stupid risks.
Yeah.
He then goes and takes a stupid risk, and it bites him on the ass.
Right.
The Jews, after he's gone, fix the hole in their wall. With what, Ray?
Oh, please don't tell me Jewish dead. No, I don't know. I don't know.
They create a wall using dead bodies to
Christ on a cracker.
fill up the hole.
Yeah, which
now,
the
I want
Romans
you to
provided.
stop,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
ladies and gentlemen, and think about this for a second. Imagine you're trying to break through a hole in a wall.
Yeah.
And instead of running a battering ram into rocks or cement or concrete, you're having to ram it into flesh and blood, recently dead men, women, children, elderly.
Yeah.
You're trying to hack your way through a wall, a deep wall. They got thousands and thousands and thousands of dead people at this stage
to choose from
starvation, from disease, from all the sorts of things that go on when you're in a city that's under siege for a long time. Imagine having to hack your way through a wall of dead bodies to get to the other side. Now, Romans are tough. Roman soldiers are hard men.
That's
the
true.
sort your wife wishes she'd married. But there's difference between being hard and being able to hack your way through a wall of dead children. Hard.
Yeah. It turns out I'm not that tough. I mean, I could probably do about 2 or 3 feet of human flesh. After that, I'm going to be like, you know what? Is this really worth it? Is this a good policy for Rome to have? No, that's pretty fucked up. Because when the battering rams come, you're going to hear bones crunching, and that's its own sound. And you've got the smell of blood and urine and other things. I mean, this is going to get shitty. No pun intended. Feces.
Literally, yeah.
Quick. Yeah. So, goddamn.
So Titus, having learned his lesson, has the rams enlarge the breach, and takes about 4 days. Yeah. This time they have a much bigger gap, a much larger assault force. They surge in, get past the wall of dead children, and demolish the wall in places, leave it in places so they can put archers on the top towers. But
Yeah.
then, after they've got through this, and the Jews obviously all evacuate and go behind the inner wall,
Right.
Titus does something surprising. He calls a halt to the offensive operations.
Yeah.
People in the city are starving. His own men need rest.
Yeah.
But why did he take a break, Ray? What's the important event that he needs to pay attention to?
Well, as every good military commander will tell you, two birds with one stone is a code to live by. The big event that we're about to describe is payday, but underneath payday is another form of psychological warfare that either was Titus's idea or his deputy's idea. Either way, pretty brilliant fucking move. So, I didn't know this. I know we've discussed Roman's pay in the past, and we've broken down and trying to figure out the value of a sesterce, whatever. I didn't know this, but so they get paid. The legionaries get paid 900 sesterces a year, but they get paid 300 sesterces 3 times within that year. And it's not you just rock up, get your check or whatever the fuck it is, and you go away. It is a big deal because the one thing that we've learned, that Julius Caesar learned, is that all power is based on the military. And in order to keep that military going, you have to make sure your men get paid. If they don't get paid, you lose power real quick. But not unlike the Catholic Church, the Roman Empire has turned paying their men into, I don't even know what word is it, pageantry? Is it, whatever, but it's a big, big deal. And it's going to take days for them to pay their 4 legions that are with them.
Well, I don't know if it had to take 4 days. I think he deliberately
Good point.
Stretched it out for 4 days.
Yeah, good point.
So legionaries made 900 sesterces a year. The centurions made 20,000 sesterces a year.
Of course, they almost died.
Chief centurions got 100,000 sesterces a year.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
The value of a small farm in Italy. Auxiliaries, who are non-citizens, got 300 a year, plus a 300 sesterce recruitment bonus.
Yeah, you sign up, you get drunk, you get laid, then you go in the army. And things have not changed.
And you get paid in advance.
Yes. And things have not changed.
You get paid a year's salary in advance.
Yeah.
Because I guess you're saying, look, your chances of surviving the first year and getting paid, not great.
Not good.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We will give you the opportunity to leave some money with your family, and then you can go off and get killed. Right?
For Rome. And if I could just real quick, just for a reference point, even though I think we all know this, generally a legion had 10 cohorts, and each cohort had about 6 centurions within it. And of course, it was their job to enforce discipline. But most importantly, and this is why they're paid the big bucks, lead in battle from the front. So yeah, it looks good on your resume and you're getting paid a nice pay, but you got a greater chance of dying than almost everybody else because you're out front. But again, that's what Rome wants. Rome wants go-getters. They want brave, courageous men who are very good at killing their fellow human beings.
So Titus basically does this parade, goes for 4 days, as we said, and is paying these guys really slowly with a lot of pomp and circumstance.
Yes.
To basically say, look how good it is being a Roman, you stupid Jewish persons.
Look how disciplined. Yeah.
So a centurion earns 22 times what a legionary earns. A chief centurion earns 111 times what a legionary earns. But an auxiliary earns a half of what a legionary earns. So this is
insane.
Not a slightly hierarchical system. This is a winner takes all system, right?
Doesn't pay to be poor.
Rome is paying for loyalty, ambition, and enforcement.
And survival.
As a reminder, let's put this into context. 3 or 4 sesterces would buy you about 6.5 kilograms of grain.
Okay.
So 300 is buying you basically 650 kilograms of grain. That's a lot of grain. I use about 2 kilograms of grain to make a loaf of bread, but it's a big loaf of bread that
Right.
lasts us a week, sometimes 2 weeks,
Wow.
because I freeze it. Slice it up and freeze it. Just have a slice or so a day. So, you're getting a decent amount, 300 sesterces for a legionary. It's a reasonable amount of grain you can get. A legionary on 900 sesterces could feed himself quite well, maybe
Right.
support a small household,
Mm-hmm.
but wouldn't be enough to live comfortably without booty, bonuses, side hustles, that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Right.
But the auxiliary is just making enough to maybe make a loaf of bread
Yeah.
once a week.
Aw.
He's probably sending all of that home to his wife and kids if he has them, or his parents if he's young.
Boy.
Is living entirely on army provisioning probably for the duration of the campaign.
Mhm.
Keeps them obedient, keeps them expendable.
Yes.
Centurions are not just better paid soldiers. They're a different class entirely. 20,000 sesterces, you're living like a local elite.
Nice.
You own property. You can lend money. You can invest in businesses. You eat well. You drink well. You are visibly superior to the men you command.
Right.
So makes everyone want to be a centurion. Like if you're a legionary, your dream is to one day be a centurion. Centurions live like the nobility, more or less, minor nobility, right?
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I think we talked about this a long time ago with Caesar. But so when, let's say, like Jerusalem does fall and they do sack the place, I think as far as I remember, the bonuses or the booty when it's divided is divided like the pay is. I mean, the guys, the officers on top get a lot more than the men at the bottom who, let's be honest, made this happen. I think it's also unfairly divided as well. So yeah, if you make it to chief centurion or centurion, your payday once one of these cities fall could be quite nice.
Josephus even mentions that centurions were investing in local enterprises.
All right.
They're moving around, they're like buying bits of investments in different things. They're getting their wealth working for them.
Yeah.
Looking at a retirement date, want to own slices of businesses. They're sort of entrepreneurs. It's interesting.
And I remember, I know Augustus messed with this when he came to power, but for a lot of people, a lot of legions would be in an area for a long time. Some of them in only one area. And so, yeah, you get to know the place and you invest. They probably listen to the QAV show. But yeah, so you get to know the place. And if you're going to be there for a while, you might as well have your money make you more money.
Chief centurion, you're getting 100,000 sesterces. You're landed gentry, basically.
Yes.
Like I said before, you could buy a small farm in Italy, and we know that's not just nice. That's
right.
That's political influence.
Yes.
That's long-term income. That's you have tenant farmers working on it for you. It's productive land.
Yeah.
That's when you start to become, part of the political elite. So it's a meritocracy in a way. If you can get to that level,
yeah,
you can start to work your way up the ranks. Maybe your son
right
might be on the cursus honorum, might get a good education, might be a consul one day.
And not only that, but I think it was during the time of Gaius Marius to a degree, but also Caesar. If you were a brave soldier and you moved up in the ranks, you could very easily find yourself, like you said, on the political ladder where maybe that wasn't even something you were thinking about. You just wanted to make some cash. But yeah, these guys get the crown. They have to be applauded wherever they go, where people have to stand up when they show up at the theater. I mean, it could very easily lead to the beginnings of a political career or political influence, like you were saying. So again, if you can live through the battles, the potential is very high.
Titus calls this big assembly legionaries fit yellow horsehair crests to their helmets.
Yeah.
Only used at parades, and if you've seen them colored red in Hollywood films, that's probably incorrect. Archaeology says they were probably the ones that we have found look like they were yellow.
Yeah. Horsehair. Yeah.
They don all of their bravery decorations. It's full military parade stuff, right?
I have the typing medal, and the paper cut medal over here. It's
right.
It's pretty impressive
On your nipples. It's funny. You've actually got the paper cuts on your nipples.
I know.
Not
Well,
just the medal.
That's a war wound. That's a war wound. So I'd appreciate a little respect. Thank you. Go ahead.
So, as Titus had hoped, a lot of Jerusalem's trapped population climb up on the walls to watch. You got hundreds of thousands of starving, desperate people climbing up on the roofs and the walls, watching the Romans just get paid really well.
Right. That's lovely.
In formation.
Yes.
March up, full decorations.
Yeah. They call your name.
You would think that the Jews might take this opportunity to go out and try and set fire to shit, but
I think they were in awe.
According to Josephus, they were in awe. Yeah, they're like, oh my God, these people.
The circus is in town. Yeah.
The discipline that they have. And, you're like, we're barely hanging on here. These guys are just taking 4 days to rest and get paid and stand in formation.
Thinking about future investments. I don't know if I'm going to make it till tomorrow, and they're worried about retirement funds. Fuck you, Romans.
You might be wondering what they did with all this money once they got paid. There was a legion bank that they deposited the money in.
Right.
The cash itself, because these are coins, they're not getting checks or Bitcoin. They were getting coins minted in Syria, delivered in massive chests.
I bet.
Each legion had its own coins. In this case, one side had Vespasian's profile. He'd now renamed himself Caesar Vespasianus Augustus.
Right.
Because it was under Vespasian, of course, that Caesar got turned into a title. Wasn't just a name anymore. We're getting into this period where it's becoming an official title. Both Caesar and Augustus is becoming a title, right?
Right. Yeah. So Vespasian and his sons will do this, which probably helps enshrine it for future Roman and other emperors or leaders.
Yeah. So if we go back to the Caesar Augustus thing, obviously Julius Caesar, it was a surname, last name. The gens was Julia, but then we have Augustus, who's actually born Gaius Octavius. He gets adopted by Julius Caesar, becomes Gaius Julius Caesar. At this point, Caesar is still a family name, but it's now got the prestige associated with it. It's not a title.
Right.
He then changes his name to Augustus, the August one, or the Senate does officially, but he does, the honorable one, the August one. Then his adopted son Tiberius becomes Tiberius Julius Caesar. Again, it's not a title, it's adoption.
It's still there.
You have Caligula, who's born Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus. Caesar's just sort of baked into the name now. Claudius, not originally a Caesar, but he adds it on occasion. It's still dynastic continuity.
I like
that.
But
it's, he's kind of part of the family. Nero is born Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus, gets adopted by Claudius, gets renamed Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus.
Damn.
So again, it's family name.
Right.
But then you've got the other guys that come in the middle. You've got the first three of the four emperors of this year.
Yeah.
Who didn't have time to worry about this stuff so much.
No.
They were just like, hey, I'm emperor. Oh, I'm dead.
Not a concern. Yes.
Yeah. So Vespasian now decides that these are titles. It's a rank of authority, which I find fascinating. Like, imagine, if you will, that a year from now, your dictator,
Yeah.
Donald Trump,
Glorious leader.
dies.
Right. Right.
Let's say J.D. Vance
Yeah.
becomes dictator
Right.
and calls himself J.D. Vance Trump
Oh, wow.
and just
Yeah.
takes it on as a
Kicks it
title
off.
of authority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want
You can't have a MAGA without a Trump. Let's say the Trump kids, everyone just knows that they're coke addicts, allegedly. And like the Biden kids,
Right.
kid surviving. And he just goes, "Well, my name is now JD Vance Trump,
Yeah. Just call me Trump.
and you can just call me Trump."
Yeah.
Just with President Trump was President Trump,
Yeah.
and it just goes on. Then Elon, after him, becomes president. Elon Musk Trump.
My God.
You just assume the title. I mean,
It becomes so much more.
you know.
Yeah. Anything's possible at this point. I can't wait for us to have Greenland,
Mm.
but that's a whole different conversation for the bullshit filter.
Yes. Oh God, I can't wait till we do one of those. So back to the coins. So you
Please.
had Vespasian on one side. The
Makes
reverse showed each legion's emblem. Say the 5th Macedonica
Yeah.
Legion would have had LEG Legion 5V Mac MAC. So you had your own coins.
Right. Your own minting, your own coins, your own image. What would be on the reverse side of our coin? Is it a microphone? Is it I don't know. Is it just a copy of the page of Wikipedia? Because come on, everybody knows. But I just wonder what would be on our coins if you had any. That's how we got the job. We blew our way to the bottom. Anyway, we should probably
visual joke that you missed if you're not watching our YouTube.
And it's not PG rated. Okay, so 4 days go by.
So this goes on for 4 days. Yeah. By the last day, it's sort of the Jewish audience sort of melts away dejectedly.
Like, fuck.
Josephus says it was obvious the ordinary people were awed and depressed. For the first time, they fully maybe appreciated the size, power, and discipline of the Roman army and the levels of organization behind the legions. Like, it's one thing being attacked by some brutal force, but when you see it stop and just organized and disciplined, and well-fed, well-paid, functioning banking system,
right.
You know you're well and truly fucked.
That's right. Oh my God. Yeah, they have holidays for pay. So you're absolutely right. So they get demoralized. So like you said earlier, there's about 30,000 warriors. The rest of them are not warriors. They would be happy to surrender because, again, Titus gave, signals, not directly, but signals that he wouldn't burn the place down. He wouldn't kill everybody. Maybe they want to surrender. But again, the Jewish rebel leaders have broken every rule there is of warfare, especially against Rome. I mean, Rome doesn't have too many rules. You do what we say or we kill you. But the rebel leaders know that they're dead, as good as dead. So not only are they not going to give up anytime soon, if they hear anybody within the walls talk about surrendering or giving up or anything, they're executed. So this is quickly becoming, because of the rebel leaders' need to survive, a zero-sum game.
No, they still don't surrender, though, the Jews.
Yeah.
Titus resumes the siege,
Let's
divides the legions into 2 groups. Now, the 5th Macedonica and the 12th Fulminata are going up against the Antonia Fortress's west wall, the 10th and the 15th against the northern wall near the tomb of John Hyrcanus.
Mm-hmm.
And they're ordered to raise 2 earth ramps at each site.
Yeah.
As they're doing that, Simon leads sallies against the southern ramps, John against the northern ones, and they bombard the Romans from the top of the walls with Scorpios, 300 Scorpios they had constructed to Roman design, and 40 stone-throwing ballistas.
Damn.
So insulting to be attacked by your own
I
weapons, I
hate
would
it.
think.
I hate that. Yeah. And so Titus can see some of his men falling. Some of them are dead. Some of them are wounded. And wounded men can't really dig all that well. And so again, Titus sends Josephus out there to talk the Jews into surrendering. And we have to remember from a couple of episodes ago, Josephus's parents are still in the city. They are obviously now prisoners of the rebel leaders. Josephus's wife is certainly in there. His brother is in there as well. And so he wants this to be over with to have any chance whatsoever of getting his family back. But like you said, the Jews, the rebel leaders know that they can't surrender. Even though Josephus gives this speech, spare yourselves, spare your country, spare your temple. It looks like, your God has forsaken you. You keep talking about your God. Well, I think his new address is P.O. Box 1 Rome, because he seems to live in Rome now. They've got all the power. They seem to be supported by the God. You should give up. But the Jews say, fuck you. And Josephus has once again failed to end this for Titus.
Imagine being Josephus. I mean, it's a tough situation. You were a general who has flipped to the other side in the first place. You're a general who all your army got killed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You failed.
Right. Strike
then
one.
You flipped and you're working for the enemy.
Strike two.
Your family are all trapped inside of this city that you are helping lay siege to.
Strike three. Yes. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
His wife is probably already dead by the sounds of it. His brother is likely, bearing arms for the Jews.
Yeah.
Your parents are trapped in there, etc., etc.
Hey.
It's
got to be tough.
Like, it's one thing flipping and fighting your own people, but your own family are trapped inside of there. Your wife's dead. I mean, it's psychologically and emotionally for Josephus. You don't really get a sense of this from his book, but it must have been heartbreaking at some level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure the Jews hated him. The Romans probably didn't trust him either. Sort of a fucked up situation to be in, but there you go. That's war.
Exactly.
So he gives this speech, as you said. They're all telling him to go fuck himself. They try and shoot him with missiles, and he withdraws. The food situation, obviously, in Jerusalem just gets worse and worse. The rich are using whatever money they have left to get all the food for themselves. Sometimes, according to Josephus, they're eating the grain raw instead of baking it, because baking it would risk the smell attracting thieves.
Right.
So they would just eat it raw. He says the poor were stealing morsels from the mouths of their children. Old men with food are choked by their neighbors to force them to spit it out. Then the neighbors eat it.
Damn.
It's
dog
eat dog. Gruesome. Really, really gruesome. It kind of reminds me of St. Petersburg during World War II, Stalingrad, just the siege.
Body parts.
Just massive famine and starvation and cannibalism.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask about that because, as you know, I get most of my knowledge from Wikipedia. The rest of it I just pull out of my ass.
It's such a nice ass.
Yeah. Thank you. It's all about exercise.
Bleaching.
Aren't the
anal bleaching.
Are the Jews... Oh my God, when I discovered that combined with a bidet, that's a life changer. Are the Jews pulling a crusader, or is there any cannibalism going on? Did you come across anything? Because I was just curious. I mean, if you're this desperate, I imagine, something's going on.
I assume there is. I didn't read anything about that, but you've got to assume that there's cannibalism always going on in these sorts of situations.
Right.
Yeah. When people are starving, you're going to eat what you got to eat. Yeah, well, you did. I mean, you didn't even wait to be... I remember us hanging out, you killing homeless people and cooking them up, passing them off to your family as,
two birds, one stone.
Farm animals.
Years ago, there was a... South Park episode where some people were trapped in a room and they just started killing. They didn't wait days. They waited like an hour and they're, oh my God, we're starving. They just started killing each other and eating each other. Fucking hilarious. Anyways, This is not hilarious. That was hilarious. This is not, hundreds of thousands of people starving to death.
So some decide to risk sneaking out of the city at night to find food. They make it look like they're carrying corpses out to deposit in the valley. Now, the Romans apparently allowed this to happen.
Right.
They were allowing the Jews to carry their dead out of the city. They're like, listen, we're brutal, but we're not animals.
Right.
We're not dicks. Sure, we'll let you carry your dead out. But some of the Jews are hoping to slip out with the burial parties, and Titus is not stupid.
Right.
So he's got cavalry patrols stationed in the countryside, and every night they were capturing an average of 500 Jews of all ages and sexes, and then he started crucifying them. First they'd whip them.
Right, sure.
Then they would crucify them and line the crucifixions up on the top of the camp wall so they were visible from the city as they died slowly and painfully. And Josephus says the legionaries would have fun trying to come up with the most creative ways of crucifying people. You'd have your standard T-shaped cross, then there'd be X-shaped crosses, there'd be upside-down crosses. It's a fucking competition to see who can come up with the cleverest ways of crucifying people.
Right.
They had a reality show. It was Rome's Got Talent.
Right. Rome's Got Bodies.
There was Crucifixion Survivor Crucifixion Edition. Who survives the longest? Who can crucify someone and get them to bleed out the slowest over the longest period of time?
Yeah.
Longinus is running around. Longinus with his fucking spear was so busy. Running up and down, stabbing people, seeing how long they would survive.
Yeah. Well, say, why are you stabbing all these people? Oh, just in case they're the second coming. I like to bookend things. I stab the first one, I'm stabbing the second. You know what I'm saying? I would think, now this is just my opinion, I would think doing a crucifix and the shape of a letter S would be the most challenging. But I spend a lot of time thinking about it. Anyway, what do you think is the most complex shape to crucify somebody in? It's S, isn't it? It's S.
This is pretty good. Now, getting back to the Jesus story, keep in mind that the Gospel according to Mark, the first real mention of the crucifixion, is written after all of this. It's written after the fall of Jerusalem when all of this has happened.
Okay.
Mark wasn't a Jew, probably Greek, writing somewhere in the Greco-Roman Empire, but he would have heard these stories. Everyone in Rome would have heard these stories and in the empire.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Paul, writing a little bit earlier than this, mentions Jesus suffering, but doesn't go into detail about the crucifixion. So, these, whether or not the Jesus crucifixion story is based on this or something else, or it's independent, we don't know.
Right.
But these are all happening. This is all happening before the Gospels are written, just pointing that out for people from a chronological perspective.
Cool.
So the rebel leaders inside of Jerusalem using this to their advantage. They bring people up onto the city walls, point out the crucified victims, say, look, this is what Romans do to anyone who tries to surrender. They're basically not saying these people were sneaking out to get food, but they tried to surrender, and this is what happened. So if you surrender, that's what you can expect.
Exactly. So, so they're using Titus's cruelty against him. But then, because people still try to escape, Titus is going to, how shall I say, up the ante of cruelty, if you will.
I remember the last time your uncle and auntie came, you said you were up the ante, and
Look,
I didn't understand it at the time, but now I'm fully appreciating what you meant.
Well, just like Cicero said of, is it Nero? No, Caligula. The family that plays together stays together. All right? So, lesson learned. We can all learn from history.
So, when the crucifixions fail to bring about the capitulation of the Jews, Titus has the next bunch of people get their hands chopped off, Julius Caesar style,
Right.
and sends them back. He knows what the Jews are, the propaganda they're running, that these people tried to surrender.
Yeah.
He sends them back with their hands chopped off, saying that this is what will happen to everybody who fail to surrender.
Exactly. Damn. This is getting crazy.
But the Jews just end up lining the walls and say they'd rather die than surrender.
Okay.
And Titus says, well, let's not say I didn't give you the option.
Titus says, I'm way ahead of you.
But, you have to wonder, at what point?
Right.
It's a bit like, I've been debating with people on Reddit about, I got involved, as I often do, in a discussion about the surrender of Japan in World War II and whether it was based on the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki or whether it had more to do with the declaration of war by the Soviets. And you and I know, because we've studied this, that it had more to do. It was a combination of factors, but it had more to do. The evidence suggests, by Hasegawa's study of it, the suggestion, the evidence suggests that it had more to do with the Soviets, because the Japanese had been relying on the Soviets to help them get a peace deal that would be acceptable.
Right.
When the Soviets ended their non-aggression pact and joined the war.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that there was a second front, they also knew that they didn't have any friends now to help them negotiate a peace.
Well,
And they were fucked.
yeah.
And eventually the emperor said, you know what? If we don't do it now and figure out something, the whole country's going to be reduced to ashes.
Yeah.
And I can't have that on my conscience.
Right.
You got to think at some point the Jewish leadership of Simon and John would have reached the same conclusion.
So, we tried.
Yeah.
We gave it our all. We gave it the
Yeah.
old collegiate try. It didn't work. It didn't work. Let's count our losses. But no, they know what's in store for them, so they're going to keep resisting.
Even Ukraine now, under Zelensky, have reached that conclusion. Okay, we need to try and reach like it wasn't that long ago when the rhetoric coming out of Ukraine was never surrender, we're going to fight, we're going to win.
Yeah. You have to say
we don't
that.
surrender. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, yeah, we're ready to come up with a deal.
Right. We'll talk.
Which was, again, also kind of inevitable. I remember when we started talking about this back in 2022, said, there's just no way in hell the Ukraine's going to win. You could have saved yourself tens of thousands of lives and hundreds of billions of dollars of destruction. But hey, I would fight for my country too. So I'm not criticizing. But at some point, if you're in the political leadership of a country, you need to decide, when is enough? When is this a completely losing situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Roman reinforcements then arrive, if it wasn't bad enough for the Jews. Epiphanes, the son of King Antiochus of Comagene, leading Macedonian mercenaries. Commagene.
Yeah.
It was sort of a buffer state between Armenia, Parthia, Syria, and Rome. It made a Roman province by Tiberius. Then was an independent kingdom again for a while under Caligula. Then he deprived them of their freedom, and then he restored it. No, then Claudius restored it to them.
Right.
And then Vespasian, eventually, a year or two after our time period, I think 72, makes it part of the Roman Empire again. But Epiphanes rocks up, and he's not impressed with the way Titus is running things.
Right. No, he takes a look around and he goes, I got to be honest with you. If it was me, I would have this wrapped up by now. So I think you could be doing more. I think you could be doing more faster. Titus, who's seen a thing or two since this siege has started, said, tell you what, I will follow any attack you wish to lead, which, kind of makes sense to me. In other words, put your money where your mouth is. But Epiphanes takes it one step further. He will launch his own attack. Thank you very much, Mr. Titus. But he doesn't include Titus's troops with them, and so he launches his own goddamn attack against the Jews. Believe it or not, but it doesn't do any better, and he's soon crawling back with his tail between his legs with his own wounded men. So again, that little moment of bravado, whatever, it doesn't work out very well, and Titus, who could have easily guessed this, is back to square one. He's just got to keep the siege going because it's going to be something methodical that's going to eventually take this place down.
Meanwhile, you got to hand it to the Jews.
You mean the ones that
Titus's
don't have hands?
guys are building.
That's not funny.
Well,
No, just
shit.
Sorry, go ahead.
Look, you can hand it to the Jews. They can't.
But I can't hold it. I mean,
take it from you.
Look,
yeah.
this is a visual. You throw something to me, it goes like this. And it just falls down. Because I got no fucking hands. Anyway, we should move on. Sorry, go ahead.
It's Seinfeld. By the way,
I got no
the
hands.
best thing that's happened to me in the last month is my boys have finally got into Seinfeld.
There we go.
Now they're like ringing me every day going, oh my God, I just saw the whatever episode, the parking lot episode. Love the Drake.
They're worthy.
Which I'm pretty sure I said to Hunter was the first episode I ever caught on TV back in the early 90s.
Right.
I caught the parking lot episode and immediately fell in love with the show.
Yeah.
But it's the reservation for the car reservation at the airport.
Hold a reservation.
I know how to take a reservation. Yeah,
I know you now.
Anyone can just take a reservation. It's the holding of the reservation.
And when Elaine rolls
Same with
her
the Jews.
eyes, oh my God!
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I just die laughing every time she does that. So anyway,
he has to make a scene.
Yes, exactly. Go ahead.
So the Jews, John's men are burrowing under the wall and under the ramp. The 5th Macedonian Legion is building this massive ramp to help them get up over the wall, shoot over the wall.
Yeah.
John's guys have dug a burrow under the wall, under the ramp.
Damn.
And 17 days after the ramp work began, just as 4 siege towers are being moved into position on the ramp,
right?
John's men set fire to pitch and bitumen in the underground mine that he'd built.
Which have been holding up.
A whole bunch of smoke, fire starts coming from underneath the ramp that the Romans have built.
Right.
You've got to wonder why the whole thing just didn't collapse, but I guess it's probably a very big earth ramp and a relatively small tunnel.
Yeah.
But they're able to set fire to all of the ramps.
It's insane. Yeah, it collapses.
2 days later,
right,
when the other 3 legions' towers roll into place, 3 rebel fighters from Simon's force run out with burning torches like suicide bombers.
Yes.
And we know their names because they were captured by Josephus. And they managed to set fire to the siege towers. Right. They all get killed.
Yeah.
But they're the original suicide bombers.
Yeah. Can I just ask real quick, when you got to the part where, okay, so there's 3 of them, the last one, and he's all heart. He has a limp. Is he really the best candidate to run? You know what I'm saying, right? He's got to hold his torch. He's got to dodge the arrows and the swords that are coming at him. He's already got a limp. Maybe put your best people on it. You know what I'm saying, right? I mean, but I guess he had heart, and they just said, I think you're the guy for the job. You'll only get one chance, but fuck me if he and the other 2 don't accomplish their missions.
Well, I guess he was expendable.
That's true.
Yeah. The first people we send out to die are the ones with the limps. Then we send out the short, bald people.
Right.
Because really,
right,
what do they have to look forward to in life?
Not much. I can tell you that right now. Go ahead. I'm depressed.
After these guys set fire to the towers, thousands of Jewish rebels come out of the gates, come out of several gates.
Yeah.
As the Romans are trying to put out the fires, they come out to attack the firefighters.
Right.
The firefighters are off-duty legionaries who came running out without armor. Now,
Oh.
listen, I don't want to criticize Titus here, but,
Right.
you know, if you have men moving siege towers into position
Yeah.
after you've already had a ramp set on fire,
You would think.
I'm suggesting you might want to have
Right.
large armed guards protecting the siege towers
Yeah.
from sabotage. Listen, call me
Yeah.
crazy, call me stupid,
Right.
but that would be my go-to plan here is how about we just put a bit of a guard around these things?
That's not unreasonable. Maybe we should expect the unexpected. You know, I mean, there are desperate people. They're clever. We've always known they're clever. And we should expect something weird. Well, here's
They're
weird.
sneaky.
They're
Sneaky Jews. Can we say that?
I mean, they are.
Can't
But
say that?
no, I think it's.
Don't trust the sneaky Jews?
don't-
No, okay.
Anyway, so the point is, I think you're right. He should have been better prepared. But the way the armor works, not only does it take a long time to put on, sometimes it actually takes your bum mate, whatever, to help you put on your armor. And so, yeah, they just have to get up because they know that every second these ramps are on fire, that it's just going to undo weeks of work. So they run out there and suddenly they are taking on, like you said, fully armed and armored Jewish warriors who are sneaking out of little gates throughout the city. So a very coordinated, brilliant Jewish tactic against the 3 Roman siege towers.
Australian Prime Minister's just announced that we're having a royal commission into the Bondi shooting, which is basically going to be into anti-Semitism in Australia.
Right.
And I just know now that somebody's going to play a clip of me saying the sneaky Jews, and it's going to be all over the media here. I'm going to be accused of being an anti-Semite.
I would say that you're welcome to America,
well.
but that's not true. I mean, I'll put you up, but I don't think you're going to make it here. Go ahead.
The commission is going to be investigating the nature and prevalence of anti-Semitism and its key drivers in Australia. Cameron Riley, talking about the siege of Jerusalem, said they were sneaky Jews. I mean, I was pulled out of context.
Thank you for listening to us, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end.
Yeah. So this is where this is what's going on. Romans are building ramps and towers. The Jews are coming out and setting fire to them and getting away with it, even though they get killed.
Yes.
The Romans are trying to put the fires out. The Jews are trying to stop them from pulling the fires out. The Romans are trying to pull the siege towers out of the flames. There are Jews literally pulling them back into the flames. They're having tugs of war over rams and towers and fire and
insane.
It's madness. And you imagine these rams on fire are burning hot.
Yes.
The Jews, the Romans are grabbing them with their bare hands and pulling them, getting burnt. Like this is desperation. And the Jews, at least the Romans are relatively well fed and well paid. The Jews are starving.
Yeah.
But they're running out there, grabbing these things, getting burnt, getting set on fire themselves, stabbed, speared, shot.
Yeah.
It's absolute fucking madness. Finally, Titus has enough of all of this bullshit. You know what? This siege bullshit, I'm done. We've cut down every tree for fucking 100 miles.
One and done.
We spend weeks building these things. They just get burnt down. He marches in, runs in with his bodyguard to attack the Jews, chases them back into the city, but he's looking at all of his ramps destroyed, all of the rams on fire, the towers on fire, weeks and weeks of work destroyed in an hour. So what does he do, Ray?
First of all, he says the only way to turn this into a positive, would anybody like any s'mores? Because that's the only thing these fires are good for. No, it's time to hold a council. So he brings the, I guess, the lead officers together. One of them says, you know what? Fuck all this. Let's just do one giant ass attack. And again, someone has to go, no, because remember when y'all went inside the second time, the streets are so narrow, that's not going to work for anybody. And another guy says, well, let's just I know it's a pain in the ass. You don't want to hear this, boss. I don't want to say it, but we need to rebuild the ramps. We need to rebuild the ramps and just pick up where we left off. Yes, that's going to put us here a couple more months, but let's get it done. That's when, like you said, someone a minute ago, then says, we've cut down all the trees from here to Timbuktu. There are no trees. What the fuck's going on? Finally, someone else, probably Stan and Barry, I have no idea, but I like to think it was them, said, no, forget trees, forget wood. We need to cut off the city from ever getting any sustenance ever again. We need to surround the city. We need to dig a giant ditch. Is it circumvallate or is it the other one? I'm trying to remember now. A contravallation. We need to put a giant ditch around the city with a giant earth mound, make sure no one ever gets out again, and literally starve these people into submission. It's not sexy, but it will get the job done because look at my eyebrows. They were singed off when I tried to save that third tower. I've got no eyebrows. I can't go home like this. It's time to try something new. And if we dig, we don't need trees. We'll just use earth.
Yeah, so his council of war is divided on this. Some want to do a mass assault. Some want to build more ramps and towers, even though there are no trees, as you say, including the Garden of Gethsemane on the Mount of Olives, which have been completely cut down. The olive trees that are there today apparently only a date to the 11th and 12th centuries, which is the time period of the Crusades that we've been talking about around this area.
Yeah.
Where they also had to cut down trees to build siege equipment yet again.
Exactly.
And they must have replanted stuff after that. So, like, Josephus says that Titus decides to combine his options. He's going to build the circumvallation wall, and he's also going to try and storm the place as quickly as possible. He knows his reputation is on the line.
Yeah.
And the longer it takes, the sort of worse he looks. But at the same time, he's got to get it done. And it's not getting done. It's just dragging out. So he assigns a whole bunch of workers to keep watch during the night. The deputy Tiberius Alexander has the second watch. He himself is on the first watch every night.
Yeah.
He has his deputy on the second watch, legion commanders on the third. The result is that a 5-mile long wall is completed in just 3 days.
Look, if Jesus could rise in 3 days, they can build a 5-mile wall in 3 days. I put up Roman power to Jesus power any day of the week. I mean, 3 days you dig a trench and build an earth wall in 3 days, working 24/7. That's pretty fucking impressive. Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you.
And Jesus is a god, and it took him 3 days to rise. Like a god takes you 3 days to rise.
If Jesus was
what
Roman,
were you doing for the first 2.5 days?
I agree.
Like, I've done the calculations.
Right.
I've done the mathematics on this.
Yeah.
Resurrection of a god.
I can show you my work. Yeah.
It shouldn't take much longer than I calculated 43 minutes.
Thank you.
Like, if you're working at full capacity.
Right.
As a god. Now, mind you, gods are sometimes distracted. There's a lot of things going on as a god. You got to be figuring out how every atom in the universe interacts with every other atom in the universe. That takes about 3% of your
no one's denying there's work. But if it had been Roman, if it had been a Roman god, 40 something minutes.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And he had
these sneaky Jewish gods. They're a bit slower.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably move on from sneaky Jews. Go ahead.
Yeah, you won't get called in front of the Royal Commission, just me.
No.
You might just get shot in the face by an ICE agent as you're driving down the road, but that's another story.
That's true. Take my chances.
So, big trench, big circumvallation wall. The Jews can no longer slip out of the city. There's no gates in this
Yeah.
wall to sneakily open up.
Yeah.
Now,
Done. Yeah.
honestly, my reaction when reading this is could have done this your first 3 days you got there.
You're not wrong.
Julius Caesar,
Yeah.
Julius, the original, the OG, the JC,
Right.
pretty sure he would have, circumvallated the shit out of this. He
Yeah.
would have built not just one, not just two, but 3 walls of circumvallation
Right.
in 3 days.
Yes.
One a day. And then would have just
sat back.
sat on a cushion
Yeah.
and gone,
Bake some bread. Yeah. Yeah.
somebody put on let's Netflix and chill.
That's right.
While
Kill
we
me.
let Jews just fucking panic and starve, right?
Kill me a grape.
Tight ass got there eventually, but honestly,
Yeah.
JC would have done this day one. I'm not wasting
No.
wood,
I got
towers,
shit. Yeah.
lives.
Dirt. Use
Yeah.
dirt. Yeah.
I'll be chopping off hands and building walls day one, motherfucker.
That's
Mind
right.
you, by the time Caesar was circumvallating in Gaul, who was this guy in Gaul that he was circumvallating?
Vercingetorix.
Who was the leader of the Gauls?
Vercingetorix.
Vercingetorix. You didn't even need YouTube to pull that out of your tight,
No.
bleached, bidayed butthole. Well done. Well
Stop
done.
it.
So I tip my hat.
Thank you. You're embarrassing me.
Yeah, I mean, Caesar had been campaigning for a while when
Yeah.
he got to that. I think
yeah.
this is Titus's first shake of the stick.
Yeah.
This is his first time commanding by himself. To be fair, JC had been at it for 10 years
Yeah.
when he had to deal with Vercingetorix. I can't remember exactly when it was, but probably 8 years, 7 years, something like that.
From now on,
He'd learn a thing or two.
Yeah. It's his go. From now on, this is my go-to. Just fucking dig a ditch. Fucking dig a ditch.
And JC was probably, 50.
Yeah.
Tight ass is what, 30 at this juncture,
Yep.
something like that. He's a kid,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
more or less.
Yeah. So they're surrounded.
So they're surrounded. Civilians start dying in droves. One Jewish gatekeeper who escapes tells Titus that he counted over 100,000 dead carried out of his gate alone, being left in the valleys to rot. Josephus estimates 600,000 bodies are carried from the city.
That's insane. Yeah. Psychological warfare.
There are just
Yeah.
dead people piled in houses and streets if they can't get them out. Even the prisons become just makeshift mortuaries. And to taunt the population,
Right.
the Roman troops,
Right. Dicks.
who are getting food supplies regularly topped up from Syria and Egypt, take their daily ration of fresh baked bread and olive oil and
Right.
sit and eat it within sight of the city walls.
And they go, and they rub their tummy. You can't miss that. That's a universal sign for this is some good bread and olive oil. And it's tormenting those inside the city.
While you're literally eating your own dead children,
Right.
we're just eating fresh bread, dipping it in
Oh, I can't finish it.
virgin olive oil.
I can't finish this. Anybody want any of this? I can't finish this bread. It's too much. It's too much.
While the wall was being dug, Roman auxiliaries were going 11 or 12 miles away searching for trees,
Damn.
leaving you got to imagine the whole area around Jerusalem now is just naked
Yeah.
of forest.
Denuded.
It's just a desert for miles around.
Yes.
They're going to be building not only the wall, they need wood to build the wall, but they're going to be building new ramps, new siege machinery, new assaults.
Start it up.
Just going to let you
Yeah.
starve out. Damn. In our next episode, we will see the final assault on the temple itself, and somehow things get even worse for all involved, but that will be next time. The life of Caesar.